Good morning, people. Hello and welcome to another vlog episode of the India Darshan travel series. So I'm still at the hotel in the mini kind of rooftop on the way to the exit, and the wedding kind of festivities are happening still, so it's a little bit tempting. Last night when I came back from casual day off, they were having meals and stuff. So the owner is a local of the community, so I have a standing invite to go in there. But unfortunately, I didn't know that at the time that they have meals and stuff here, so I ate outside already. Otherwise, could have been a fun experience, gate crashing a Rajasthani wedding. And our one of the staff members who makes breakfast and meals here, he had to leave for a family emergency. So today I was looking out for something to eat down there. They are currently in the process of preparing, so I don't think I'll stick around any longer because the heat is kind of rising, so I want to start exploring. But anyway, let's quickly check out the vibes and we'll be on our way to explore. So let's get started. So I asked the chef, they said it's going to take 10-15 minutes and then I'm invited to try it out. So I'm going to stick around for another 10-15 minutes, might as well, and enjoy the experience. So after a very hearty meal, I've come to Jagdish Temple. Crossed this yesterday on the way back to the hotel room. So decided to come here and check this out. This is a Lord Vishnu temple. I think it's also close to the city palace. And look at the beautiful architecture, at least from the exterior. It's a very beautiful place. So let's go inside. And this music that you're hearing, I think there's some bhajan going on. So let's see what's on. It was epic. I was at the right place at the right time, and the cloud cover is back. So now we're going to go to the city palace, which is just like a minute's ride from here, or just a 3-minute walk. So if you're on foot, you can just directly walk from here. And I think this is the back entrance to the temple. There's another entrance where you see a steep set of stairs to climb. So a word of advice, if you're differently abled or have trouble climbing stairs, use this back entrance. It's a bit more subtle. That one has like a very steep climb of 30 to 40 stairs. So that behind me is the entrance to the palace. The entrance ticket is now 400 rupees and the parking ticket is 50 rupees for a two-wheeler. So you park here, you go inside, that's the ticket counter, you grab the ticket, then you go inside and then you park your vehicle and start exploring. So let's go check out the city palace. I know that in the royal palaces, especially the residential royal palaces, you can meet one of the members of the royal family, whosoever is public facing. And here is the Yuvraj, and I've seen him on YouTube. Many YouTubers have met him before. So I'm going to the security control office to ask how does the meetup happen and does he have any time today in case I can meet him too. That would be really cool. Tried that in, I think it was in Jodhpur before, but they said like take an appointment 3-4 weeks ahead of time and whatnot, so that didn't pan out. Maybe this works impromptu. Let's see how things work here. So I went to the central security office and grabbed the number of the personal assistant of the Yuvraj of the royal family and tried calling them. They didn't pick up, but the security personnel gave me some insights that maybe today is not possible. So I'll see if I can see an appointment while I'm still around, but otherwise we'll just skip it. So this is the armor of Maharana Pratap, the warrior I showed you before, and that's his horse, also armored up. So it looks like the first section that I'm ending up exploring is the arms and armory. We have all different sorts of weapons, daggers and stuff. I think I've seen this in some war movies as well, like documentaries and war movies from the Rajputana clan that used to have fights with the Mughals and stuff from back in the day. It's a pretty cool experience. So made it to the upper courtyard. I don't think you are allowed to go all the way up top to the rooftop like the previous forts and palaces that I've been to. But still, this is a very nice courtyard, very chill place. There's also an artist behind drawing like live sketching people that are sitting there. So I think a kid is sitting next to him and he's drawing. Everybody's curious. And yes, spent nearly an hour inside. It's a very big palace. So you can do a guide if you want to learn about the history and the architecture of this place, or you could just walk around by yourself. There's info boards in most of the places, so you'll understand DIY as well if you want it that way. Also, one thing I'm noticing about these entry gates here, you see this patch of like flat portion on the wall here. This is big enough for a soldier to hide and nobody can see, and as soon as an opponent comes in you can attack on them. They won't even see where that came from. That's a pretty smart and ingenious design, and I like this kind of corridors all the way around. This courtyard is kind of the highlight of the entire palace, but I think there is more to see. And that in the distance is the Lake Pichola, where I was in the previous vlog checking out the sunset. So Pichola got its name from Pichwala, which is basically like something around those lines. It's like behind the castle, and then it got transformed over the years and now it is known as Pichola. So because this lake is behind the castle, and on top of the hill there is another fort, not visible from here, Sajjanar Fort, the Monsoon Palace, which is like a completely different fort in itself. 155 rupees entrance ticket plus the vehicle fees if you want to go 5 kilometers all the way up to the castle top. Not sure if I'm doing that today, but overheard one of the guys saying there's another fort that's the highest point. Once you go up there, the views from there are so nice that you won't come back down. There was not mine, so perhaps another possibility for some other day. So that in the middle of the Lake Pichola is the Leela. It's a 5-star hotel chain. These boats that you're seeing nearby, I think, is their own private boats that ferry people from mainland to the hotel in the middle of the water. And there is another palace that you can go from the boat tour. So where I was seeing the sunset yesterday, from there if you take a boat tour, you can get there. I think it's the Jag Mandir. But yeah, I skipped that yesterday. Let's check out the view from the other side. So after spending 2 hours thoroughly exploring the palace and multiple times trying the PA, but they didn't pick up the call, so I didn't get any appointment to meet the royal family. But yeah, we're going to the Fateh Sagar Lake, the second lake that I wanted to explore here, ask around a few of the people. There's also the royal stables, the horse stables, where you have all the Marwadi horses that is used by the royal family. But today they have gone to another site for riding. They have been ridden there, so they are not going to come back, but typically they stay inside the palace from 9 to 4. So on some other day you might also be able to explore and, you know, meet the royal horses. So yeah, gonna go to the Fateh Sagar Lake next, and along the way gonna grab matka kulfi. It's getting very, very hot now and I need some kulfi to cool down. Trying some different way to cool down today. So we finally made it to Fateh Sagar Lake. There is a small walking path. So I'm gonna walk around, try and see a different view. And around both the lakes, so on top of that hill there is the Nimach Mata Mandir, and then on the Pichola Lake there is this Karni Mata Mandir. So both of them have ropeways, you can go up top to the temple. I don't think I have enough time for doing something like that, but that's also another possibility if you want to try. And I checked out, there is a guy that sells roadside matka kulfi here, but the shop is currently closed. It's like a cart, not a shop. Maybe he opens in the evening, so didn't get it yet. We'll keep looking, but for now I'm gonna walk around the Fateh Sagar Lake, the second lake that I found in Udaipur that's worth visiting. So finally found matka kulfi from the street vendors behind me, and having matka kulfi by the lakeside just the way I wanted it. And there is some difficulty finding parking here, so be mindful of what your vehicle is, like two-wheeler or four-wheeler. There is no parking, both signs everywhere, and the cops are very, very active here, so just be careful. And behind me there is also this Nehru garden, so we're gonna go check that out afterwards, but first I'm gonna enjoy my kulfi. And there's this camel that's just chilling by the side, so we're gonna check him out as well. Look at the squirrel. I think it's eating some greens, and then some people have left some biscuits and other things. The squirrels in India are quite different from the ones I've seen abroad, and they are much smaller as well. Well, that was a very teeny tiny park. It finished even before I got started, and I'm down on the road again. So I know there's another place called Saheliyon Ki Badi, which is very close, and I read along the way. I think that's the place for the queens and her friends to hang out, like a separate dedicated park for them. I think back in the day. So probably during the monsoon it's more lush green, but I'll try to go in anyway and see what's it like. But this lake also has boating, as you can see over there. So there's some boating points, and the place where I was hanging out, where I was having the kulfi, was actually the boarding point where you saw the cops. That's like the boarding point for the boating area. Guessing the rates are more or less the same, but slightly different views because it's a different lake. So you have different boating options in different parts of Udaipur. But as I said, yeah, out here there is this parking kind of issue, so be very careful where you park, and when you're gone boating you don't want your vehicle to disappear behind you. So let's go check out Saheliyon Ki Badi next. So I was just headed to grab the Activa and move on to the next stop, and I found some local ladies here. We're using this anchor. It's a stainless steel rods bent in the form of anchor, and they're pulling out algae seaweed from the lake, and I'm making a stack like this. And I was asking them what do they do after that, and they say they use this as natural manure for farming. I was wondering if they feed it to the cows, but this is not like cow fodder. This is more like organic manure, and I think they're going for round 2. Let's see how this works. I've never seen something like this before. That goes pretty far. अच्छा हाँ ये सब है तो इधर पे. So you can see this sort of seaweed all down there. So the anchor is gonna hook onto everything. I can see it pulled up some things. There you go. Fresh caught. फिर गोबर की खाद से ज़्यादा अच्छा रहता है ये. अच्छा.
A few inches later.
So I was right, I made it to the Saheliyon Ki Badi. This is the Queen's Palace, probably from the 18th century, and the entry ticket is just 20 rupees here. And then there are government appointed guides here, but then again there is some sort of I don't want to call it a scam, but like lots of haggling going on here. So everybody's quoting arbitrary prices, but for a group of 1 to 4 the official government pricing is like 400 rupees. So far I've been quoted 100, 150, 200, whatever, and then even my offer, but I didn't take one. One thing I know for a fact is that the fountain inside is basically running purely on gravity. There are no motors or anything electrical that's driving it, so that's pretty cool. And other than that, it's like I'm going to enjoy the greenery and take in the views. So if my math is right, I think that's where the Queen used to sit. That's like the public facing window, and then this massive pond, the friends would then gather around and then greet the Queen from here. I think that's the arrangement of this. Looks pretty nice. And now there are like fresh lotuses growing here. No flowers yet, but they are very, very healthy and lush green. And I'm really liking walking by the fountains. You get some drizzle drops on you and it cools you down in the heat. Look, there's a very pretty rainbow in the fountain. This is so cool. So right in front of the Saheli Ki Badi, the palace that I was exploring, there is this bhaiya stall. It's called Panditji Lemon Tea Stall. It's very popular. A lot of people visit this stall. And let's get to know more about this place from the man himself. भैया जी बताएं आपकी चाय में क्या खास है और जनता आपके पास इतना क्यों आती है? आप अपनी जुबानी
चाय में तो कुछ खास तो क्या है सर, ये शहर का प्यार है
जी,
शहर का स्नेह है, और हमारा शहर जो है कम से कम 70% टूरिस्ट पे टिका हुआ है
जी,
7 समंदर पार से टूरिस्ट भी आते हैं यहाँ
जी,
और फिर वहाँ से आने के बाद अगर ये चाय की चुस्की मिले
जी,
तो वो आगे जाके प्रमोट तो हमें वैसे ही करेगा, माउथ पब्लिसिटी
जी, जी।
बिना
इस
पैसे की
चाय में हम
मार्केटिंग।
देख रहे हैं आपने डाला है मसाला, पुदीना और नींबू।
इसमें सारी चीज़ें फ्रेश है, नींबू है, अदरक है, तुलसी है, पुदीना है, दालचीनी है, और पानी का जो भगोना आप दिखाइए सुबह से शाम उबलता रहता है।
अच्छा अच्छा, ये पानी का भगोना है,
सुबह से शाम
बगल
उबलता
में
रहता
आपकी चाय बन रही
है,
है।
इसमें चाय बन रही है।
अच्छा।
और ये आपके लिए मैंने तैयार करी है,
अच्छा,
और आप खुद पी के बताएंगे आपके जुबानी ये चाय कैसे लगी।
okay, so time to try the very famous lemon tea. So that's the tea stall right behind me. It's the one and only, and I was actually looking for something cold like a lassi or cold coffee, but never found anything. Saw this shop, and the hotel owner actually recommended the shop, and several other locals also mentioned about this place. So decided to go for a hot beverage in the heat anyway. And given that it has a lot of these kind of herbal stuff inside as well, aside from the tea, I think it's good for the health because I'm riding in this extreme heat. So let's take a sip after it cools down a little bit and then see what's so special about this. This really is really amazing, and despite all the publicity that the shop has gotten, their rates haven't gone up. So this glass of tea costs you only 10 rupees. It is lemony, it's tangy, but it's still a very good herbal tea. 10 on 10, highly recommended. So the chai is too good and it's actually very legit. I'm going for round 2 and I've been talking with Bhaiya for a while. He has had countless media coverages throughout the day, throughout the 15-16 years in his business, and even earlier today there were media folks here, and you can see he still does everything by himself. There's no outsourcing whatsoever. So we've been chatting ever since I got here, and that's why I'm going for round 2 of the tea. As I said, 10 on 10, highly recommended. I don't need to tell you how to find him. He's on Google Maps, just look it up, and definitely come here irrespective of the weather. You have got to try this because of the herbal properties of the tea. This is very good for you compared to cold coffee or lassi or things. Truth be told, I actually walked over to the next shop in quest for cold coffee, but I didn't find it, and then eventually landed up here. And it was a good decision that I didn't find it. Anyway, gonna enjoy my second cup of lemon tea, and with that, this is the Rustic Wanderer signing off. See you again in another episode of the India Darshan Travel Series.